to it right now. Shiv Sena leader Priyanka Chaturvedi has given the suspension of business notice in the Rajya Sabha. Remember, the monsoon session is, as we speak, going on in the Rajya Sabha and the Lok Sabha. Now, her suspension notice is on the misuse of premier investigative agencies such as the ED, the CBI and the IT by the central government for political agendas and for detaining opposition leaders. So essentially, with this move, Priyanka Chaturvedi is asking for Parliament in the Rajya Sabha to be suspended. The claim she's making there is one that is sure to be reflected and echoed by a number of other opposition parties. Remember, the misuse of the ED is an allegation that we've heard a number of opposition parties make over the last few years in particular. My colleague Pallavi Ghosh, our senior editor, who covers updates and developments in the Parliament in particular, we have her with us right now. Pallavi, for our audiences, can you break down what does a suspension notice actually mean? Are there chances that it would actually be taken up by the Rajya Sabha Speaker or not?
Well, usually they are not taken up. Essentially, what suspension notice means suspension, which means suspension of listed business of the House. Whatever has been on the agenda, that should be suspended. And this should be taken up as a matter of urgent notice, which is unlikely to happen because that's exactly what the chair is going to say, that this is not an urgent matter, it's an ongoing matter. And it's a matter of investigation, so we cannot take it up ASAP. But I think more than that, Priyanka Chaturvedi is also making a political point. Yesterday when she was speaking to us, she did say that, in the past, whenever ED has summoned other political parties, we've always stood by them. So we expect the same. So there are two things that they're going to be working at. She, of course, is on behalf of our party going to take up those alleged misuse of ED. And second, also hope that in this, other opposition parties like the Congress, the Trinamool Congress, all of them should be joining in.
All right. And Pallavi, if you could also tell us, is this likely at all to be the end to what we see in terms of this entire crisis reflecting in the Lok Sabha and the Rajya Sabha? Can we also expect similar action taking place in the Lok Sabha?
No, I don't think it's going to be the end. I mean, in Lok Sabha, notices are already pending. I mean, there have been notices which have been given earlier by, say, a Manikam Tagore or a Gaurav Gogoi earlier, precisely on this matter, that how ED, CBI are being misused by the central government and by the BJP. I mean, not just the Shiv Sena, it's the Congress, the Trinamool Congress, all of them have been hit by the ED investigations. One issue on which everyone seems to be coming together, in fact, there was a memorandum which was signed by all of these opposition political parties. So I think this stress will continue in both the houses of parliament by the opposition.
Okay, and Pallavi, I don't want to stray too far from the Sanjay Roth concept crisis that we've been discussing, but I do want to ask you, in Parliament, as we already know, there's been a logjam over the last 2 weeks when it comes to discussions that have been taking place. You have constant demands for conversations. All right, Pallavi, I'm so sorry. I believe we actually have some more breaking news and we're going to have to move to that very quickly. All right.